Chapter 8, Sahassavaggo, Thousands. 100. Though there are 1,000 sayings consisting of useless words, better is one useful word hearing which one is brought to peace. 101. Though there are 1,000 verses consisting of useless words, better is one word of a verse hearing which one is brought to peace. 102. One may speak 100 verses consisting of useless words, better is one verse of Dhamma, hearing which one is brought to peace. 103. One may conquer 1,000 men 1,000 times in a battle, but having conquered one's own self, one would surely be supreme in battle. 104. Conquest over self is better than that over other people, for the person who conquers himself, who lives constantly well restrained. 105. Neither gods, nor Gandharvas, nor Mara together with Brahmas can turn conquest into defeat for a person who is like this. 106. One might give alms impartially with 1,000 coins of money, month by month for 100 years, and one might worship someone with developed self for a second. That worship is surely better than the 100-year sacrifice. 107. One person might care for the fire in the woods for 100 years, and one might worship someone with developed self for a second. That worship is surely better than the 100-year sacrifice. 108. Whatever the alms or the sacrifice in the world the one seeking merit may give for a year, all that comes not to a quarter of the merit, better is the worship of the upright. 109. For the one who is constantly worshipping honorable elders, our things increase, the length of life, beauty, happiness, and strength. 110. One might live for 100 years, unvirtuous and uncomposed, but a life of one day is better, for one with virtue and meditation. 111. One might live for 100 years, lacking in wisdom, uncomposed, but a life of one day is better, for one endowed with wisdom and meditation. 112. One might live for 100 years, indolent, with less energy, but a life of one day is better, for one with energy set up and firm. 113. One might live for 100 years without seeing rise and fall, but a life of one day is better, for the one seeing rise and fall. 114. One might live for 100 years without seeing the deathless state, but a life of one day is better, for one seeing the deathless state. 115. One might live for 100 years without seeing the supreme state, but a life of one day is better, for one seeing the supreme state.